Hello, I'm Alyssa Ford Morell, one of the Extension Master Gardeners with the Master Gardeners of Northern Virginia, here today to talk about an invasive plant, porcelainberry, Ampelopsis previpedunculata. But first, I want to make sure before we get too much into talking about porcelainberry that we are in agreement about what an invasive plant, because a lot of people think of invasive plants as being a lot of different things. Today, I'm not just talking about a plant that you get annoyed at because it spreads too much in your garden. In fact, I'm going to be very technical and refer to invasive plants by the definition that was set forth in Executive Order number 13112, signed by President Clinton in 1999. That order said that the definition of an invasive plant is a plant that can escape cultivation and get out into the wild. This is a non-native plant that we're talking about, not a plant that naturally grows in an area, but a non-native plant that can escape cultivation, get into the wild, outcompete the native plants, and cause harm. Harm in one of three ways. One, to human health. Two, to the economy. And three, to the environment. Most of the invasive plants that we deal with today are ones that cause problems to the environment. Porcelainberry is native to Japan and northern China, where it is a beautiful plant and much appreciated. It has gorgeous berries that you can see are really quite colorful in a variety of colors, kind of teal, purple, green, and really is a very decorative plant. It spreads widely though because animals love those berries and they spread the berries in other places. It grows to form quite a thick mat, and when it is around a tree, it can grow up the tree and create a lot of weight that is a real problem. It is very widely spread in the mid-Atlantic and considered invasive throughout most of the mid-Atlantic. Telling the difference between porcelainberry and our native wild grape can feel tricky, but here's a couple of tips to help you. First of all, porcelainberry, if you cut it or break it, the pith, what's in the middle of the stem, is white, whereas our native grape has a brown pith. Also, porcelainberry, the flowers and the fruit are held upwards. In other words, the little stalk holds the flower or the berries in an upright position, whereas our native grapes hang down. So that's a couple of important distinguishing characteristics you can keep in mind. Getting rid of porcelainberry, especially if it's an infestation as large as this one, is a matter of some real determination. Fortunately, it does respond well to pulling out, to digging out, and to herbicides. So those are three options for you. I do find in my own yard, which I don't have any porcelainberry planted nearby, but I do find the babies coming up very frequently. So whenever I'm out gardening, I'm keeping an eye open for the little grape-shaped leaves that come up, and I pull them as soon as I see them. Keeping it in check when you've gotten rid of the main infestation isn't that hard to do, but it does take some careful minding as you do your gardening. Fortunately, if you have porcelainberry and you want to replace it, we have some great alternatives for you. We're here at the Glen Carlin Library Demonstration Garden to show you the first of our alternative choices instead of porcelainberry. We're here with American wisteria, Wisteria frutescens. It's a beautiful plant, a vine that is going to be somewhat similar to the porcelainberry in that it's a vine, but it has a lot going on for it that I'd really like to recommend. It has beautiful fall color that is just starting right now. You can see some of the leaves are turning yellow. The whole thing will turn a beautiful yellow in just a few weeks. And in the spring, it has the gorgeous violet purple blooms that are so famous for wisteria. The American wisteria blooms are a little bit shorter than the Asian wisteria, but nonetheless very beautiful. I love that the little blossoms, as they just start to open up, kind of look like a purple pine cone to me. Those flowers are very appealing to butterflies and other sorts of wildlife that will feed off of them. This is a member of the pea family, and the flowers should turn into pods eventually. It is a lovely plant to have in your garden. The second alternative to porcelainberry is Virginia creeper, Parthenocissus quinquefolia. This is a great vine, very muscular, as most vines are. This one can grow 25 to 60 feet high if it has the support. A good alternative would be to grow it as a ground cover. If you have a lot of area and you want a native ground cover, Virginia creeper might be your friend. It has beautiful fall colors. It's just starting to turn colors right now in October this year. It will drop the leaves after they have all turned color, and it will be bare through the winter, which is part of the reason that it's not the danger to our trees that English ivy can be. The other notable thing about this is the compound leaf. The Virginia creeper has 5 leaflets on its compound leaf, which differentiates it from poison ivy, which has 3 leaflets on the compound leaf. A lot of people have a hard time telling the difference, but just count the leaflets. You'll be able to tell pretty easily. Virginia creeper has rather insignificant flowers in June and July, but they form into berries by fall. And you can see with time, they actually turn to be this rather beautiful dark bluish purple color with these red stems that I really think are quite stunning. The berries are a wonderful resource for birds who eat them through the winter, and they're a valuable source of nutrition for birds. I thought for our third plant to recommend that we should have something with beautiful berries, even if it's not a vine. And American beautyberry or Calicarpa americana absolutely has that. These berries, which you can see are going completely around the stem, are absolutely stunning in the fall. Unfortunately, here at the library garden, they don't actually last through the whole winter because the birds love them and eat them, and that's really the point of the berries. So we're happy to have them eat the berries, even if it means that it's not quite as pretty through the full winter. But the American Beautyberry is a wonderful support. It supports over 40 different kinds of songbirds, different butterflies, and other insects are all attracted to it. It's an easy plant to grow. It grows to be about 6 feet tall. It likes sun with a little bit of shade, maybe. And it's really a quick growing plant that will fill in nicely. It has pretty pinkish, lavenderish flowers in the spring, not very noticeable, but then they turn into these beautiful berries. I want to point out to you, just so that you can tell between a Native American beautyberry as versus the Asian one, our native berries go all the way around the stem, and also the leaves are considerably larger than the Asian beautyberries. Whichever native plant you choose to replace porcelainberry, I wish you happy gardening.